Rock on, horse boys and hurdlers. That's a terrible way to start this.
What were you even trying to say?
Rock on, horse boys?
Horse boys and horse girls.
Horse.
Welcome to the Jersey Nerds podcast. This is already
Get
off the rails, and we're 30 seconds in.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, that has to be a new record or something. Yeah.
Burkus, you remember that I used to intro podcasts? Ryan would start like saying something, I'd just be like, "Hello," or something like that. I think the record is about 1 second.
That checks out.
The old HJC podcast was like, it's a wonder we ever said anything of actual substance. Like, it was just a mess.
I remember the first episode I was on with the overranked and underranked or whatever it was. That one was also just absolute chaos. Anyways,
literally
welcome to
every episode is just chaos.
Yeah, but that one was more than most. Anyways, welcome to the Jersey Nerds podcast, your home for debates and discussion surrounding hockey jerseys, sports uniform designs. God, I've forgotten the intro. That's how long it's been since we've recorded. And more.
And horses.
Did the 4-second intro in a minute 40. We're doing good. With me today we have everyone. Well, not everyone, but 4 of us, which is almost more than normal. And that's because we have a lot of stuff to cover.
4? What am I? Chopped liver?
Which one of us is it here?
Oh, no, I said 4, not including myself. Was what I was thinking.
I don't think I said that.
It's like 4 of us.
It's a good attempt at a save.
This is true. Okay, there's 5 people here. Let's go one by one and introduce ourselves. I'm Burkus. I'm wearing a jersey I designed for the Blue Jackets blog I write for, just so I can flex on that.
Hi, Burkus.
Hi, Burkus. Can you tell us a fun fact about you?
I got rejected for a design job this morning.
Yay, Burkus. That means you applied to
Yeah, congratulations.
All right, Will, you go.
Hi, I'm Will.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm the guy who does the concept corners, except for he doesn't anymore. Does the YouTube videos, except he really doesn't anymore. Sets up the competitions, which I haven't really done that anymore either.
Story of Jersey Nerds as a whole.
You see, I did this thing, and then I had responsibilities.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Burkus is the guy who podcasts, but doesn't really anymore.
Yeah.
I remember how it was great how I was super committed to doing an episode every other week, and we got through 2 before that immediately went out.
I was gonna say it always lasts like a couple weeks. It's like, yeah. Like, what are you wearing, Will, from State Farm?
I'm wearing Calgary Flames jersey, the previous home jersey. It's basically the only one that was clean at the moment. I've been doing laundry, and kids have kind of decided to play with my jerseys, which makes things a little bit ucky. So this one is clean. So this one's what I'm wearing today.
I like it.
Cool. Right.
Will is also flipped.
Am I flipped? No.
That's a you problem.
It's fine.
It'll
be fixed in post.
I mean, yeah, we can fix in post, but he is for me.
It looks right on mine, I think.
Wait, Burkus, hold up your jersey crest again. You're good.
It'll also be fixed in post.
Okay,
I'm flipped for myself, but I assumed it was normal for you guys.
Carter is normal.
Yeah, everybody's normal for me except for Will and myself, but I'm pretty sure that's normal that I'm not.
See, everyone looks normal, and I look normal on the screen too. So
I like it.
Yeah.
See, I think that's the problem, that you look normal, because I don't look normal to myself.
Oh yeah, I don't look normal.
I'm flipped to myself. my little guy in the corner here is flipped over.
This is horrible content.
It is horrible content.
Yeah. Someone else say their name.
Their name.
Okay, you go, Justin.
I'm Justin.
Their name.
I am here. I'm wearing. I feel like I'm about to. I feel like I just got drafted because I'm still wearing work clothes underneath the jersey. So I've got like a sweater and a button down and a jersey, so it's toasty, but I need it today. But
Classy.
I'm wearing a Chris Letang, I don't even remember, 2018 All-Star Game jersey in the spirit of All-Star Games. Fortunately, I did not design this because it's kind of ugly but kind of fun, which is how I think my first Tinder bio went, so that works out. But yeah, that's me.
It's fungly.
Fungly.
Well, that just sounds like fungi.
Yes.
I have toe jam.
Okay, we're 6 minutes in and still haven't gotten through the intros, so I'm gonna need Carter and BPoe to introduce yourself simultaneously.
This is
I am Carter, and about 3,000 people hate me right now.
BPoe.
That's rookie numbers.
And I'm riding a horse.
moving on.
Fun fact that might surprise you guys. I don't actually own any All-Star jerseys.
That is kind
I
of
mean,
fun.
yeah, when was the last time the All-Star game was in Pittsburgh?
mean, this is-
92.
One from anywhere that's important to me.
But like even then, I
That's true,
still
you're wearing a
don't
Tampa
own.
one.
I still don't own any
Yeah,
out of
I
all
own
the jerseys
two.
I have.
I have
Yeah.
this one and 2007, which I did go to, so that one actually does make sense. But I didn't
Yeah.
get the jersey there.
I have the St. Louis one, and that's it.
In lieu of owning an All-Star jersey for today, I have the Star right here, and it's in Toronto. So I have Toronto.
Oh.
Close enough.
So
Sneaky.
Okay,
Close
I'm,
enough.
Alrighty.
I'm going to get off the horse now because it is really uncomfortable.
Get on
Okay.
your horse.
But keep it in the background. There we go.
Yeah,
That's
I'll keep
perfect.
it in the background.
It's like he's agreeing. It's like nodding along.
This is Noah.
Carter feet. Carter feet reveal.
normally you have to pay for those. Anyways, we have a lot to go through because we haven't recorded in
Unfortunately.
2 months. We have the New York Rangers alternate to go through. We still haven't covered that. We have the Winter Classic uniforms. Still haven't covered those. We have the All-Star Game jerseys. I don't want to cover those. And then we have the PWHL. We have the San
Tampa
Jose
All.
Sharks leak that happened literally a
What?
few hours
No.
ago. And we have the Tampa Bay alternate leak, which happened a few days ago. So we have a lot. This is going to be a packed episode, and there's 5 of us.
Boy, I didn't know we had that much to cover.
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't record for forever.
One word answers for each topic.
I mean, it's not like the Tampa Bay one is not like an alternate jersey, though. It's more like a fashion jersey, though.
Well,
Isn't
no,
it?
but-
not the Gasparilla one, the like black one with the shoulder pads. on it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
And the
I
most
completely
basic
forgot about
right
that one. Yeah.
cover.
So
How
that
does-
one that hasn't been unveiled yet, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Teased. Okay.
Anywho,
Completely forgot.
let's get started. What order do you want to do this in? Do you want to do this in reverse chronological order or chronological order?
Random order.
Random order. Okay, we're gonna start with the PWHL.
I like the league. I don't. Wow, I like the league. I hate the jerseys.
They don't have any unique branding whatsoever. Essentially. So basically, every team has a color scheme that exists, and then the most boring ass diagonal word mark imaginable, and some striping, and no name. They don't have a name. So yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to talk about with those because they're very obviously a temporary thing. At least I sure to God hope so. So
Not wrong.
anyone have any thoughts on the PWHL jerseys?
I mean,
or-
I think for me, like honestly, the weirdest thing that like keeps messing with my brain is like they all use, at least I think they all use NHL templates, like for the most part, if not all of them, but they use like some from other, like for example, like Ottawa uses the Montreal Canadiens away jersey as a template, and like it's kind of like gross to my brain to see that and it not be like Montreal, especially when there's a Montreal team in the league. Not that they're directly affiliated, nor that I think they should copy the NHL team of the same city. It's just like my brain breaks a little bit every time I see it. that's really the big thing that stuck out to me beyond the obvious. It's not very exciting to have these templated jerseys. I don't think anyone really likes them. I think people maybe tolerate them. One interesting thing I think is they did in the preseason, they wore the same jerseys but with a PWHL logo on the chest instead of the diagonal word marks. And honestly, I think those looked kind of great. So I would have much rather that than the diagonal word mark. But really beyond that, there's not a heck of a lot to say. I think it's disappointing. I think they could have actually had real identities. Or I don't know. It seems weird to launch a league and it's being touted as this great accomplishment, which it is, and it's cool to see it, continue to grow women's hockey. That is, but it seems like a bit of a fart when you have this big kickoff of a league and it straight up doesn't look like it was ready for itself.
I'm very torn with these between two sides. On one hand, I think a first impression is very important, and this ain't it. It's very, as mentioned, generic and templated. But at the same time, you only have one first impression to one chance to get a first impression with your final brand. Would you rather have a rushed final brand on time, or do something temporary and wait? And I think a lot of the problem is that it wasn't exactly clear from the get-go that this was temporary. I think that's what the problem a lot of people had with it. And I, in terms of the whole rushed versus temporary placeholder jersey thing, I don't really know where I stand in terms of which I prefer. But I obviously don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but last year whenever Lucas and I were working on the Montreal Fourth, we had about a month in there, I think. It's like give or take a month to do that whole branding. So, I mean, again, it wasn't just us. It was us, and then they sent it on to Heartland, and they did the rest of the package and the jerseys. But even still, give or take a month and a half for that whole process. So, obviously, one team is different than 6 teams, but that's just my experience so far.
Also, I think to add to that, I think in your experience, the league's already established, it's set up. They already have a manufacturing partner. They already have funding sources and all that, where they're, the league now, they're just trying to find all that stuff. They're just trying to establish all that stuff. They don't know who's making the jerseys. They don't know where they're getting the money from it. So there's all sorts of things up in the air. So I think that's a whole big issue why it took so long to get anything out. I definitely would have liked to see some more transparency, especially with how everything kind of ended with the PHF from the get-go anyway.
I was going to say, this is women's hockey. It's never transparent.
Yeah. So I think that's the problem. If they came out and said, hey, we're going to have hockey this year and we won't have identities right away, but we'll do something generic. The important thing is the on-ice product. Then I think everyone would have been like, oh, okay, great. This is cool.
Yeah. But I think really good too. Like it's excellent to watch, and the broadcast,
absolutely
quality, like it's great.
I finally had a chance to sit and watch part of the game yesterday, and I agree, it's way better than anything that we had with the PHF. I'll say that much.
I like how
it's a big improvement. The big thing for me is that it's actually multicam, where most of our PHF broadcasts were not. But even just the score bug and everything. Sorry, go ahead.
PHF, I had to convince I was like, I want to invest in women's hockey. Like, I'm going to. It wasn't like, oh, let's just throw this on and enjoy it. Like, I was watching it and I'm like, no, I'm not going to change the channel. Like, I'm gonna get through it. Whereas this feels like a real broadcast.
Yeah, it's such an interesting dynamic where you had the PWHPA, which seemed to have a lot of the money and a lot of the top end players, and then the PHF that had the infrastructure just coming together now and trying to figure that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think one problem design-wise, getting back to the design aspect of the jerseys. So I like the choices of the color themes for each of the teams, but the color palettes themselves are awful.
Yeah.
Yes.
The contrast horrible.
Yes, that's exactly the problem.
Decent, I think, is New York's. Beyond that.
Yeah, New York's is sick.
Toronto's is okay.
Toronto's
it's great
also pretty good from a
Yeah.
contrast.
It's great that Minnesota goes with purple, but the purple is too dark to also have black.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With Boston, they have like a really light silver and white, and that sucks.
I think the color schemes themselves are fine. It's just the usage of them that isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
Where like you can easily make, white, gray, and green work like that. It's just you need to separate them a little bit more than they were, like the colors. Same with purple and black. I mean, LA Kings. Old LA Kings.
Yeah.
But then that is kind of limiting to what you can potentially design for the team.
For sure.
So,
I mean, welcome to have the colors interacting. Like that's the problem with any color scheme, any design.
Yeah.
Really.
But yeah, especially if you're gonna pull templates that already exist, like to Will's point, like that's definitely like a hey, we should use really contrasting colors because we only have so many options, right? Like,
but and also you have like,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say like another point is like you have Montreal and Ottawa who are like fairly similar color schemes. They both use like the not black, but charcoal black sort of thing.
Yeah,
like it feels like for 6 teams, there's a lot of there's
no true yellow in this league at all.
There's no yellow. There's no orange.
There's no navy.
No,
New York has navy.
I was kind of hoping that they could get away with not that I think they had to, but almost basically each team has its own distinct color to the point that you could even do just one jersey per team and all color on color. I don't think you have to. You could still have white jerseys, but I think it would be cool to have a green team, a yellow team, an orange team, a red team, a blue team, things that could actually play.
Yeah.
With 6 teams, you could definitely do it. I know you're going to expand eventually, hopefully. I mean, that's the goal, but that was my biggest disappointment of the gate was when they, kind of teased the colors and it wasn't official and everyone was like, oh, these might be the colors. I was like, no. I basically denied it just because I didn't want it. And it didn't work out.
And they're so most of the teams are so close together to the other colors of the other teams.
You have 3
I can't remember who pointed it out. Yeah,
2 reds and a purple.
For a 6-team league, that's
cool. Bucket.
Yep. All right. So random order. Let's go with Winter Classic.
Sure.
So for the Winter Classic, we had Vegas and Seattle. Vegas went with a very simplistic fillback with vintage white, their off-color gold, and a gray V on the front. And then Seattle went with essentially Ottawa's Heritage Classic, but it works because it's the Metropolitans, and with double blue, vintage white, and red for the logos and numbers. What did we think of those uniforms?
I won't lie, I'd never noticed how similar the Seattle ones are
to
the Ottawa ones. And yet, it works perfectly fine for both teams.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just because the colors are so different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they both have vintage white and red, so.
Yeah, but the red's
very dark base. But yeah, the red is very differently used for
I
Seattle.
think the red on Seattle's jerseys, realistically, they should have gone without it.
I actually disagree.
I'm polar opposite. I love the red.
Yeah, watching the game, I really liked having the red in there.
Something I kind of realized, and I did a mock-up, and I think I shared it in our Jersey Nerds Discord. I mean, I've disliked the Seattle jersey since the moment they came out for that reason. I think it would have been cool to do a leather material for
that would have been
numbers
sick.
and crest.
I think I do remember you sharing that. Yeah.
The red just didn't feel vintage to me at all. That sharp of a red just didn't hit me right. I don't know. I thought this was a pretty mad Winter Classic.
See, that's less. The red not feeling vintage to me isn't the issue. The issue is it just feels forced.
Yeah, I don't really like red in Seattle's color scheme to begin with.
If they were gonna have red, then they should have either gotten rid of the ice blue and then kept the vintage white in there.
Yeah, I also
then
think
you kind of just get Ottawa but navy.
I think the ice blue and the vintage white didn't work that well together, especially from broadcast angle too.
Yeah,
100%.
Blobby. And then Vegas was fine. I mean, I know we took a lot of heat for comparing it to the Stars Winter Classic.
They are
but
the
it's
same
literally
jersey.
exactly
They're
the
the
They
same.
are
jersey.
like, yeah, they're so close. It's crazy how people don't see that. But then they're like, oh, Leafs and Lightning.
It's
Yeah,
like, no,
Which
that's a
Leafs and
different,
Light- yes.
very
different
similar.
comparison. Yeah.
Also
We-
very similar.
Yeah.
But honestly, the Vegas and the Dallas Winter Classic ones are more similar than
It's
it is
straight up
the
the
only
same
difference is
jersey,
where
just
the
a color swap.
patches.
Yeah, and then I think the Vegas stripes are a little thicker, but otherwise it's literally the same jersey, just color dipped differently. I think it was fine. I don't know. This one's pretty forgettable to me.
I agree.
don't think. I honestly think the Kraken one really bothers me because one, as I said earlier, the red doesn't give me the vintage vibe. The logo doesn't either. I'm really disappointed that on both the
Yeah.
Reverse Retro and the Winter Classic, they've done the same Kraken silhouette as their very modern and it looks modern logo. Like you've had back-to-back years to do something retro and a pretty decent history. Noted, I know there's legal issues there that have been reported with the Metropolitans, but I don't know. Like
They
I
still
would have
could have
rather
done
had a
something.
fullback something. Like I also think, like I kind of wish these games would have more of a theme, kind of like the initial Stadium series did, where the jerseys like looked very similar. They had the angled stripes and all that. Like if Vegas was gonna do like, what if hockey existed here 100 years ago? I kind of wish Seattle did the same thing. It just seems a little disjointed to me overall. And again, I don't think either of them knock it out of the park. And then you throw that into like this is like I said, a Winter Classic. I think I'll forget about design wise, and I'm happy about that because I don't necessarily want to remember it.
Yeah, I mean,
one of the the one thing with Seattle, why I like the red, not including just I like the way it looks. It really reminds me of like the St. Louis Eagles, how their jerseys had the blue striping and just red cresting, red logo, red numbers. It really gives me that vibe.
I guess that's a positive, but I also just hate everything else about Vegas's jerseys. To be honest, I think they're using their faux metallic gold was a big mistake. I don't think it worked well with vintage white at all.
No, not at all.
What I would have loved to see them do is if they wanted to use this type of template, make the base like an athletic Pittsburgh gold, and then do either black or steel gray, or I guess technically white, but that would probably not be great for base where the metallic gold is this time. I just think that metallic gold, even if you take the sparkle out of it, is way too modern of a color and way too modern of a color scheme with the dark gray to work for a Winter Classic. It just looks, I think Justin put it nicely, it looks disjointed because you have a modern color scheme with a very retro vibe jersey, and it just doesn't work.
I think McElroy had or McElroy, or however he pronounces it, had a Twitter thread on that where he had the same thought of athletic gold is a lot more vintage of a color than this kind of muted mustardy gold. I'm also really tired of vintage white, cream, whatever you want to call it, and that it's on every throwback jersey now. I'm a big proponent of, honestly, I think I would say as a rule, noted all rules are broken, but as a rule, I think jerseys that have vintage white would look better with just normal white, pretty much across the board.
There was a thread on that on Twitter.
Yeah, someone did a thread like a month ago. I forget.
I think it was Liberty Bell.
I think it was in response to Aesthetics Winter Classic ranking because
Correct.
Chris just, if there was a stitch of vintage white on that jersey, he just would tank the ranking.
I'm here for it. I liked it at first. I'm so done.
It's gotten tiring.
I mean, I get that, but I also think in certain contexts it works. Like Ottawa's Heritage Classic and Third work really well.
It's a much better
on the other colors around it. Because like with orange, it doesn't work. With yellow, it doesn't work. With the bright blue of Seattle, it doesn't work. But like with maroon, it works well. With black and red, it works well. I think if you just had navy and vintage white, kind of like the Blue Jackets third and the Rangers old thirds, those work well. It really just kind of, vintage white's kind of a very hard color to use into, if you like your existing scheme is, say, if like the Kings
ice blue and red,
back
ice
to
blue and red,
yellow, and then had a Winter Classic and wanted to do vintage white, purple, and yellow, that
That
would look
would
like
not
ass.
work.
It's so bad.
So it really is a context dependent color.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it also, I think it really depends not just on the jersey itself, but the opponent's jersey. Like when you have a matchup that's like full vintage white and then pure white beside it, it looks jarring. Like
Yeah.
it looks like you have jerseys from two different eras, which kind of defeats the purpose of it. I think that color would be awesome to use for different contexts. Like I'd love the Coyotes to just rock sand colored jersey full time, not for vintage reasons, but for for their color scheme. But I think there's a lot of context in there, and I think the Winter Classics, like what Justin alluded to, it'd be nice if there was some more thematic elements to it, like the teams are trying to reach the same era or the same sort of look both together, and they look kind of like it looks more of a coherent matchup. And yeah, of course they'll wear the Winter Classic jerseys probably a couple times a year against other teams. It might not look as good, but at least that matchup looks pristine for what they're trying to do with it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the problem with vintage white is that like you'd need a vintage looking jersey to begin with and then add it on, instead of just, all right, here's a jersey, how do we make it vintage? Fuck it, vintage white.
It seems
and
like
that's you need a jersey that already
the vintage white button.
I think a good example of that would be the Wild's Winter Classic from 2 years ago, where they have a very vintage looking jersey, and then adding vintage white looks logical there. And
pure white
colors too, because it's dark green and red.
Pure white wouldn't have worked as well with that jersey at all.
Like the Blues ones from a couple years ago, I hate.
Yes.
The vintage white one with the blue shoulder, and it uses yellow too. But like that was a jersey that just straight up was white and like is old, but not really that old. Like they started in '67, so I think that jersey is from the '70s. Like that's honestly probably in my bottom 5 Winter Classic jerseys altogether. Like that I think that was where I hit the line. I'm just like I'm done. Like I don't need any more of this. Like I know this is the only reason this exists is because people got vintage white happy. So I'm happy to sacrifice all of the good vintage white stuff that could come out in the future just to make sure this doesn't happen again.
And before we move on from this, let's point out the one thing about this matchup that not even is just good, but great. I'd even say fantastic. Vegas's font, amazing.
Oh my God.
Yes.
My one complaint about that is that like the gold stitching detailing was only on the back numbers and not on the arms, which I think it's cool like to have differences sometimes, but it's also like it loses so much without it. And it kind of reminds me of the Flyers jerseys they have now with the unoutlined shoulder numbers, which is a whole nother disgusting conversation that we don't even touch.
Worms.
But anyway.
Alrighty. I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, which is these godforsaken all-star
sorry,
jerseys.
I'll get him out of here. My bad. He's been chilling in the corner. His name's Richard. He's nice.
He wanted to see the horse.
Get the rocking horse out of the room. But these all-star jerseys are hockey jerseys of all time.
I am coming around on them quickly.
I will second that.
You know what?
Hey, pause. You're coming on them? Hey,
yo. Oh, no.
I
Skip that one.
This has turned in a direction I very much did not want it to, in 2 very separate ways.
Well, we were talking about Kraken the whole past 5 minutes. I mean, what are you going to do? For me, like, I hated them, and I still do hate them, but I think that as soon as they came out, awful, ridiculous. Like these aren't a jersey; these are garbage. One, like they're not for the traditional hockey crowd. I think like they're for streetwear, and this is cool. I'm gonna buy it. Like I think 2 tweets changed my opinion of it. One of them, again, I don't remember who these are from, so my apologies. But one of them was, "You think these suck now, but wait until you see a picture of a basketball player wearing them pregame." And it was like, you know what? That's the perfect like fit. Like that is exactly the right scenario. And then 2, someone tweeted like, "Sure, these look awful now, but 20 years we're gonna look back on these like the Burger King or Wild Wing, and as soon as like I read that, I kind of saw it. Like I hate it now, and it is objectively ugly. It's weird. There's not really any design element that I like, to be
There's
honest.
4 different ones for 4 teams. That's fun.
Yes, true. Like the front is messy. The vertical stripes on the arms are odd. The font is atrocious.
Yes.
In lowercase.
Yeah, the lowercase name is atrocious. Like every element sucks, but like looking back on these, I could see these being really cool.
I don't hate lowercase name in general. I don't like lowercase name in the font.
Arial font, basically.
I can sum these jerseys up the way I feel about them, anyways, in a sentence, and that is, these jerseys are the Sharknado of hockey jerseys. They're so bad that I love them. They're so bad. It's good.
You know what?
I shouldn't like them, but I do.
My main thing with them that I hate is that they don't look like hockey jerseys. They just look like long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind
of. I think, I mean, sure, but even if that is the point, I don't think it should have been.
I feel like if they had released,
I love the ideas that are here. This whole design style of this sort of hand drawn type of look. But like, I think just a few small tweaks. Just remove that big star from behind the logo, and take the striping or whatever on the arms, stars included. Just tilt it, have it go across like normal stripes. Maybe add some to the hem, and boom.
See, I think then it's almost too boring, though. Then it's like, then it's just ugly. To Carter's point, then it's just ugly. Then it's just bad or meh. Like I'd rather be, to Carter's point, so bad it's good.
See, I think that would still look cool personally.
Okay. I think it would look fine. It wouldn't be very experimental, which is funny because you guys know how I feel about getting experimental lately. But
I think the one
sounds like a heck of an innuendo.
Not like that. Not like that.
I think the one thing that pushes me over the well, there's a lot of things that push me over the edge on these, is the fact that they use the Adidas stripes on the side going up the thing, because
the homie forgot the word arm or sleeve.
No, are they intentionally supposed to be Adidas stripes?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, there's no way it was a coincidence. Why did I pronounce that?
Coincident.
Coincidence. Anyways.
No.
There's, like, it makes it look like a team's warm-up jersey, essentially. Because instead of having them go up here, you have them go up the arms.
You forgot the word thigh.
Not thigh, like side of your
on the
chest. Shut up, Justin. But like, couple that with the fact that there is 0 design elements aside from logo and name and number on the back, it looks like one of those warm-up jerseys that would have been allowed up until this year. So, like,
what if that's what it is? What if it's an FU to the league? Like, you can't have practice jerseys? Here's Justin Bieber's practice jersey. Now, fuck off.
I mean,
FU to the league from who? The league?
From Justin Bieber. Dude, they should have done rainbow practice or rainbow all-star jerseys. That would have been sick. Pride all-star jerseys, like,
and then we vote Ivan Provorov into the all-star.
Oh god! No. Ivan Provorov, Eric Stahl, James Reimer.
But don't forget Travis Dermott in there too as the counterbalance.
The other side.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the homophobes draft each other onto the same team.
In overtime, we get a 1-on-1 with Dermott and one of those other guys. I mean, there was a list of a couple of them, so we get a 1-on-1 with Dermott and Provorov and see who wins.
I think something on these jerseys too that hurts me is a uncustomized one will never look good. Like because of the split arm stripe with the hole for the numbers. Like I think that's a detail that I haven't really seen a thing view of them. that shows the thing. But I think that will look cool when a number is there, but it looks awful
Because I mean,
without a number.
kind of to your point, going back to like the Winter Classic jerseys, when the Winter Classics jerseys were first unveiled, and there weren't any numbers or anything on them, everyone was like, "Oh, these are terrible. These are so bad." And then as soon as we saw some of those details, we saw the numbers on the sleeves, we saw the numbers on the back, we saw the fonts. It looks more filled out. It's like, oh, okay, like these aren't bad. Like we don't think they're great, but they're better than what we initially thought. And so, yeah, I definitely would agree with these All-Star jerseys. You take the numbers and stuff off, and they're gonna look kind of bad.
Which
They're already kind of bad.
Why would
For
you
hockey?
Why would you
Yeah.
reveal them without numbers?
Did they though? Wasn't it a leak
It's-
though? Like they were listed on the website early. Like I think that
They were, but even on the
Streetwear pictures.
Sportsnet broadcast, they have them on like the mannequins. They were blank.
Question
Wow.
about that. Why
I
was
love
the blue one so much lower than the others?
Because it dabba dee dabba died. I don't know.
Can't argue with that.
Anyways, going back to Will's point, I think the difference for me is that I think the numbers elevated the Winter Classic jerseys. Like Vegas's font, as you mentioned, outstanding, and Seattle having those red numbers there, it made the logo not.
At least the
seem
red made sense.
Yes.
because the red logo on a blank jersey
Yeah.
just comes out of nowhere.
Yes.
Red
But
jump
with
scare.
it becomes a consistent design thing. So I think both of those elevated it. This number and name treatment sucks ass.
Just more gross.
I don't even hate the numbers. It's the name.
I hate
Like-
the numbers.
Like the numbers look like straight out of Pizza 73.
I don't like
but-
the numbers.
I love
I
it.
don't hate them either. I feel like they could have worked with a better name system because they at least match the logo pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It
Style-wise.
makes it look like they put the NHL logo through a Comic Sans filter.
It's
Like I know they're going for
Yeah.
a graffiti look,
Yeah.
but like it just like it's one of
Lucas
those things where I
texted
can
me.
kind of see where they're going, and each individual thing can be explained, except for the lowercase name. That makes zero sense.
Part of me is like, I feel like any of these one elements, if they added it to a typical All-Star Game jersey, it would be like, oh, that's a cool new twist. But they were like, all 7 of them, fuck it.
Yes.
Like-
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the, because I wrote a review for the Canon midway through my game recap for the Blue Jackets game while they were playing, while these were unveiled. And my assumption, I just assumed, oh, the reason the names are lowercase is because they'll be using the players' social media handles. That was a more logical
kinda
cool.
conclusion for me to make
I like it.
Huh.
than they just chose to use a lowercase
Like,
name.
well,
Because
I
what are you
believe-
doing?
It's
I
literally like,
believe-
okay, we're going to put a big star behind the logo. We're going to make the logo look hand-drawn. We're going to do vertical stripes. We're going to do cutouts for sleeve numbers. We're going to do a bubbly back font. We're going to do a name bar beneath the numbers. We're going to do lowercase name. Like, it's just like,
It's because
goodness.
the name font is the Drew House font.
Oh.
I mean,
Cool.
does he?
It's
Makes
not
sense.
a hockey name bar font.
It's
Yeah.
still
Do
hideous.
you have uppercase letters in your font? Like those would make a lot more sense to use, unless you're
They're
doing. the
doing-
social
It
handle
doesn't
thing.
look
They're
like
doing
they
a
do.
draft with 4 teams when previously they've just done 2 jerseys when they've done 4 teams. The other Drew House jersey was reversible. Why are these not reversible? How sick would that be? You get drafted.
No, see,
and
that
you
would've
get
been cool.
flip
Yeah.
reverse.
Yeah,
Because
that
you
feels
can't
like such
reverse
a
things
missed
that have
opportunity.
4 sides, Justin.
Well, you have 2. Whatever. But, like, still, like, even then you only have to make 2 jerseys. Like, and you could just sell, like, how sick would that be to own an All-Star jersey and then, like, you actually own 2 of them?
That said, like, how do you? I don't know how you do the multicolor thing. Like, have it be red and then you flip it inside out and it's blue.
And then
without
just 2 layers of
thick
fabric.
layers of fabric.
If you
Yeah,
do sublimation, it's
which
like natural.
for a hockey
Oh, yeah,
jersey,
you
I
can
mean,
supplement it.
the San Jose Sharks removed stripes from their jerseys because it was too heavy before.
I've been meaning
Adding
to-
an entire second jersey into your jersey might be a little much.
Have you considered
something
that's
that
the
I
All-Star
wanna-
game, so it doesn't matter?
They're not
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Since when's the last
I
time?
want to see
that
Connor
shit?
McDavid do the fastest skater with a 60-pound weighted vest jersey on.
Honestly, he'd probably still win.
Oh yeah.
If he was
me.
actually trying.
Yeah, probably.
Not
Lucas
Not if I
texted
took
me the
his
other day
legs out
though.
first.
Lucas texted me the other day when these were unveiled, And he was like, I think you made that logo like 10 years ago. I was like, what are
We
you,
love
I
the
was like,
Comic
what are you,
Sans
I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, your Comic Sans logos. I was like, holy shit, that does look like Comic Sans.
It's pretty funny. I honestly didn't even notice that the logo had weird text until you mentioned that, Corey. And I was like, oh,
I
that's
didn't notice until he texted me that it was
because
like,
there's too
that it
many
looks like
things to
Comic
notice
Sans.
on the jersey. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like honestly, I feel like this would be a fun jersey to own because I think I would notice new things about it like every time I wear it because it's just like literally Justin Bieber like threw up on a blank hockey jersey and it was like, here you go.
You know what would be a great use of Orion's new template? And let's plug him here. He has a new template coming out
He
It's
does.
gorgeous.
Friday,
Full body.
which is probably after this episode releases. So
Most
probably
likely on
now.
Saturday or
Last Friday.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, probably now. It's probably out now. It's a full body template. This mocked up on that template would be great to see what it looks like on the ice.
We should
Sure.
DM Orion and try to force him to do that.
Which admittedly we don't have
Yeah, make him do
equipment
it.
yet, so that could also be an interesting wrinkle.
Oh my god, they could
True.
fuck
I
up the
guess we'd have to
equipment.
speculate.
Could make
on
it
that
worse.
front.
Oh my
I
god.
like how Burkus
Yeah, I don't even
immediately
have, I have
panicked.
no idea what
The fuck are they gonna do for the
Realistically-
socks? Are they gonna do vertical
Realistically,
stripes with the
vertical
socks?
stripes.
vertical
Definitely.
socks.
God, oh no.
It's got to be vertical socks.
Realistically, what
not-
should we expect the equipment to be? Because I assume they're going to go same color across the
I
board.
could see all black, honestly.
Yeah,
was
that's
thinking
kinda what I'm
either
thinking.
I was thinking either all black or all yellow.
Give me
Because
color.
those are the two
Oh my
colors that are
God.
consistent on all of the jerseys.
Have we ever seen
Yeah.
yellow pants?
We
I
should
don't
have.
think so.
I wanted the Penguins to do that so bad with the
The Stadium
2019
Series,
Stadium
yeah.
Series.
I agree.
Oh, hey, live studio audience says hi, by the way.
Hello.
Just tell her to get in
Hi.
frame and
Hi.
just
They don't
talk-
seem very live.
Oh, they're not here. Like,
Oh.
through text, they said say hi.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Remote studio audience.
Yeah, remote studio audience.
Anyone else want to rant about these anymore?
Please no.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's go from, I guess this isn't the newest news, to the oldest news, with how you actually do a unique jersey well. And that is the New York Rangers alternate.
Yeah.
They unveiled this. It's a navy jersey with a, I don't even know how to describe the striping pattern. Does anyone else want to give a shot?
The way
describing
they
this jersey?
described it is it looks like, and they described it well,
It's like
it
a
looks
time-lapse
like
photo.
if you set up a long exposure camera, like in downtown, and the car lights are the striping.
Yeah.
That was what inspired it. And it's
So-
blue, white, and then red in the middle.
Yes. And then it has their logo on the front, which is new for them. So yeah, what do we think of these? I think they're growing on me. But
As someone who has had the joy of seeing them many times, they are gorgeous in person. The way they kind of stitched it is weird because on the sleeves, only the middle red stripes are stitched on. The rest is sublimated.
Interesting. That's weird that they
But-
didn't just do the whole thing sublimated then.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks great. I really like the Rangers font without the shadow, just as one color. I
Is
think
it the
looks
same
good.
font?
yeah, and it looks surprisingly good.
No, it does. It does.
I think they made
I
it
think-
a little thicker on the numbers, actually. But
I think I really like the jersey. It's another one that I think would wear really well, like just on a person. I think
Yeah.
their logo looks really great as a crest, and it kind of like saddens me that it hasn't really been used much in their history, outside of like their old '80s jersey and like a couple Winter Classic, maybe just one Winter Classic actually.
Just 2012.
Yeah.
I've only been in two.
And I like the jersey. I'm still not really sure. Well, actually, I know how I feel. I still haven't changed my opinion on the hem striping. I don't love that it doesn't match. I don't know that I'd
Yeah.
like it to match, though, either. It might be too much. I like the jersey. I don't love the uniform. I think it would have been much better with a different set of pants. Generally, I like contrasting equipment and contrasting pants.
are they
But
using
I
the
don't
red
love
pants?
like their classic, like, because they have like very unique pants where they have like
Yeah.
kind of boxy striping almost, where there's a vertical stripe that connects to the bottom, which looks good on their classic jerseys, so to speak. But on like this very modern looking jersey, it's a weird clash. Probably all navy would look good. So I think they might as well just have navy pants. But overall, it's a pretty good look. But yeah, I think like that one last detail really hurts it. And then as well, something I wanted to mention, it's not the best from broadcast view either.
I was about to
I
say
noticed that.
The blue striping, and I think I think even the white striping blends with the red or something. And basically, it only looks like there's one color striping. I forget if it's the red or white that remains from broadcast, but that's the biggest thing I noticed from watching it is it gets really muddy really quickly.
Well, you
Yeah,
lose
at
the
least
royal
watching it myself
entirely.
here, it's the white that remains on the jersey.
Okay.
The red
That
pants
makes
stick out.
sense.
It's pretty muddy. Yeah, I love the idea and the concept of it. And it does look great, just seeing pictures of it. But that broadcast angle is a bit rough.
Yeah. I think from broadcast angle, it's not great, but like if you were to like on replays where it's like not a broadcast angle, but like still like
closer view.
following
Close-up,
on ice action, it looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, 100%. I think I was actually in the middle of making a video review of this before I realized all my footage got borked of it. The one thing I said, which is pretty much what Justin said already, is for the hem. I don't think you want it to match exactly as the sleeves, but I think like one thing you could potentially do is just maybe make the stripes like a little bit thinner, but then basically have it so you have blue, white, red, white, blue. So the pattern matches at least, but it's not the same sort of pattern, or just not have hem stripes. As much as I usually like having like waist stripes, I think this is one jersey you could probably get away with not.
Looking at it now, I wonder if you could do copy just one set of the white stripes from the sleeves and put it right on the hem and just do what basically becomes like a thick white stripe, but break it up into all the mini stripes they have.
Yeah, that would work too.
But yeah, you're right.
That or even just cut the striping pattern in half, maybe stick that on there.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, that'd work too. Yeah, that'd work too.
Something else that kind of bothers me at this one is the striping pattern, well new, also is just the same striping, at least on the sleeves, as their home jersey. Like if you squint, it's just a thick red stripe flanked by two thinner white stripes, which is so it's honestly like you took one of their jerseys and beat it up over time and it got darker and then the striping kind of broke. And so I think it's cool that this is our home jersey but glitchy kind of.
You AI generated also, the jersey one too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit it's a joke I make often, but it's kind of like if someone tried to draw a Rangers jersey from memory, but maybe they did it in crayon, so it didn't completely full stripes. So that part of it it's not a deal breaker for me because I think it is cool that hey, this is our home jersey but different, but it's also this is your home jersey, but different.
I think that's what impresses me. I don't want to say most about this jersey, but it's something I wasn't expecting when I was hearing the Rangers are getting a third and it's going to be modern. That this looks like a Rangers jersey.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely
is almost a minor miracle.
Yeah.
Which, considering this is a very modern theme for it, and it isn't Lady Liberty, it isn't something with the yoke bars.
I'm so glad it's not
the yoke bars.
Lady Liberty.
Facts.
I agree.
Lady Liberty was fine, has always been fine, has never been more than fine. Does not need a fifth jersey now because there were two originals and now two reverse retros.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
Yeah,
I'm over it for a couple years. I'm okay with seeing it down the road because I like the logo a lot, or a different version of the logo even.
Yeah, I would like to see an update.
Yeah, agreed. Alrighty, what do you still have to go through?
Tampa.
I'm honestly shocked we've got through as much as we did already, as quick as we did.
Kind of just zooming by.
Yeah.
The one thing
Faster, not Zoom.
Sorry, before we move on, the one thing I do want to say about the Rangers one is, especially with how they revealed it, with the traffic lights and stuff, and that's kind of how this. I really like that with this jersey, that there's a theme or an element to it. There's context to it. It's not just
it reminds me of the stars
stripes for stripes' sake. Yeah,
and it's not just a load of designer BS where they're
yeah.
so the circle is for The
Yeah.
puck.
The circle represents that we live on
This-
Earth. And we
this
are
is what
a
a
big community.
This
Because
is what
the Earth is round.
yeah.
We love
Like this
the
is
Earth.
what a City
Here's
Connect
our
jersey should be.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
there's some
That's
context,
a
but
great
it's not
point.
just like throw designer BS all over.
Am I
it.
gonna
Like,
have to
probably,
mock
like-
up a Yankees version of this? Now that you said that, because I really
The
like
pinstripes that are
That'd be
all
kind of cool,
jerseys.
though. That'd be kind of cool.
Dude,
That could be sick.
As cool as that would be,
Ooh.
fuck the Yankees. Sorry, just gotta get that out
Valid.
there.
Fair.
And the state
Yeah.
of the Dodgers.
I mean,
Um,
fuck the Yankees. Anyways.
True. I think.
Otani and-
I don't even remember what I was going to say, to be honest. Oh yes. One of my biggest annoyances, to Will's point, is in design right now is like everything has to have meaning, and so like this is kind of weird. Like in my like sense, like I'd almost rather see a hockey. Not this. I love this, but like in general, I'd rather just see a jersey that looks good than like this means this and this means this.
Yeah.
But
I think
if you're going to go with meaning, this is bang on.
yeah.
I think it's when the meaning is forced.
Oh, 100%.
Like when we're like, oh, let's think of something that adds meaning, and like, let's throw in extra stripes and say, oh, this is how many cups we won. Oh, this circle represents like our president's trophy from 20, like
Yeah.
just
Like
stuff that really, like, who cares?
I
It's
struggle
like,
with that even with some of my own designs of like, oh, I need to hide an element in the negative space, and it's like, no, I can just make a logo that looks good. Like that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's awesome.
that
And
simple.
I feel like we've forgotten that. As a design
Everyone
community
has
to
spent
some
too
extent.
much time looking at the Whalers logo.
Yeah.
It's a great logo.
You know what? Yeah, like that is great, but everyone's trying to replicate it,
And if
Yep.
every logo
and like they're
was
trying
like
to have
that,
their
it'd be
Whalers
boring.
logo moment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love those TikToks or tweets that are like, "Did you know that this logo had?" Like, yes.
Did you know the New York Islanders' eye points to where their stadium is?
Well, and yet there's always some people that don't. Which honestly, like,
You
fair.
know,
Not
yeah.
everybody's obsessed with this shit. Like,
No,
we are.
and we want more people to realize these things and be
Yeah.
like, oh, what other
Yeah.
cool things in jersey
Yeah.
design am I missing? Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's so much I'm missing. I want to be part of this community. So no, I as much as it annoys me to watch
Valid.
those videos, those
Valid.
TikToks, I'm appreciative of them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Yeah. There's
The way I
a
got
guy
into
on
this was
TikTok. I
through-
haven't seen him. You ahead first.
Yeah, the way I got into this stuff was through the like weirdness of the Stadium Series jerseys from the very first batch in 2014.
I love stadium.
Like that. That's how I like got into jersey design essentially. So
Yeah,
like,
there's a guy on
having
TikTok. Oh, sorry, you weren't done.
weirdness. Like you wouldn't like. Hey, we italicized the numbers. I'm like, wait, no one's ever thought to do that before. Like that's a good. I don't want to say gateway drug, but like entry point. Entry point is a much better term there. Good entry point.
There's a guy on TikTok. He has like a huge football helmet collection, and he makes TikToks just talking about his collection and like teams' histories of helmets. And like to some people, like this is like, yeah, this is common knowledge. No, it's not. I don't know that.
Yeah.
It's not to me, and it's really interesting to me. So in the same vein, like, somebody who has a passing interest in sports or hockey and sees a video like that, it's like, oh, that's really cool.
And I think so. Let's backtrack back to the All-Star jerseys.
Mhm.
As much probably don't want to.
Absolutely.
How many people who aren't like us, who aren't following jerseys, aren't jersey nerds, how many people that are kind of like just casual hockey fans are going to see those jerseys be like, wow, that's interesting, and then maybe perhaps get into jersey design?
Mhm.
Probably more people than people are going to see like the Detroit Red Wings jersey.
Yeah.
That's
My
like,
my biggest inspiration design wise for the past, I guess, 3 years has been the 2020 Stadium Series jerseys, which are like pretty universally hated. But like that, like,
Yeah.
just
I like Los
opens my eyes
Angeles.
so much. Like I like the gaudy stuff. Like I think that's the only way you do something interesting. And so like that's why
Yeah.
I'm not even like, though I think they're ugly, I'm not against the All-Star game.
Yeah.
jerseys. The more
It's a
I
good
yeah,
ugly.
totally agree.
And like with the All-Star game jerseys and the Rangers ones that we talked about, like tons of credit for doing something out of the box.
Yep.
Like, regardless of
Mhm.
how it turned out, I would much rather see like 10 out of the box designs where maybe 2 or 3 of them hit than like 10 just flat out
And
throwbacks
it's the
that
right
look
context.
better as a whole, but like I want to see some new stuff here.
Yeah.
and it's the right context for it. Like if you're gonna do something new, do it on a one-off or an alternate. Like if this Rangers jersey replaced their home, I would be pissed. But as
Yeah.
an alternate, it's awesome. Like it's exactly what it should be. And like I think like that's honestly why I hated last. Like weird to say it, never thought this until this moment. I prefer this year's All-Star Game jerseys to last year's. Because doing reverse retro for the All-Star Game, I think is the exact, and I think I tweeted this at the time, but that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Like
Yeah,
these
no, that's
one-off
fair.
events, these special things, like that's your time to try something new in a very low-stakes environment.
Yeah.
Of like, if it's a piece of shit, we put it on once and we move forward. And so like doing something that's just like, hey, let's take this design and wear it again in absolute dog shit colors. But that's another conversation. I think All-Star Game alternates, like this is where you should be doing new innovative looks.
These are going to be, and I'm carrying on All-Star conversation for too long, but I think the All-Star jerseys this year are
Don't
going to
worry
be
about
looked
it.
back on like the Wild Wings.
Yeah.
That's
And nobody now likes the Wild Wings, but we have an
Right.
appreciation of them.
Yeah.
We can respect them, and they are an important part of Jersey history that we will cherish and hopefully bring back every 20, 30 years.
Yeah, it's not a that's such a great jersey. I need to have it. It's like someone was stupid enough to make that. I need like I need a record
Yeah.
of it that I can show people. Like
Yeah.
I can say I
Or like,
have the
look how
art
much-
jersey
yeah.
ever made. Yeah.
And it'll be a reminder to jersey designers, like, look how much fun jersey design was in the 90s. Let's bring that back every few decades. That's
It
why I
is-
like
it-
the reverse retros. It kind of like, look how much fun this was back in the 90s. Let's remake it. Let's remix
Honestly,
it. That's why
it is funny, these comparisons that we're making with how in anything 90s is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
that's true.
true.
Well, let's go with the one other jersey that has been fully unveiled. Not even why can I not pronounce things today?
It's a coincidence.
Coincidence.
You know, the other day I got into a little fender bender, and go figure, the person who hit into me was like my long lost friend from years ago.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
What a singular coincidence.
Tampa Bay, their jerseys
Yeah.
leaked. I actually forgot what these looked like. So
I'm not gonna lie, I
Every
don't know if I
single
remember this.
It just has stripes on the arms. I don't know
It's
about
literally
the
a
hem
black
stripes.
jersey with the most generic 3-stripe hockey jersey, Edmonton Oilers garbage you could ever. It's basically
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
Their
Okay.
excuse
I found
is
it-
that
I found
the
a reference.
stripes on the arms are the victory stripes from the armpits, but big.
that were also dumb.
Yeah.
Honestly,
hey, the
victory
victory
stripes.
stripes are a great idea.
Victory stripes are one of the most overrated hockey design elements.
They
of
were
all
a
time.
good attempt.
I
I
agree.
respect the effort.
I agree that they're overrated. I also still think they're a great and fun feature.
Valid.
Yes.
I think the obsession with them
It's not even correct.
is it
It's
not?
No, it's close, but it's not like perfect.
Didn't victory stripes have more stripes? Oh, show
Yeah,
us.
victory
Well,
stripes have 2 sets.
technically yes, but also I can't even
BPoe
tell.
pit review. Oh,
It goes
yeah.
white. It
one
goes
set.
white, blue, gray. That just goes white, blue. Oh no, that is gray.
Not
Never
sick.
mind. That is white. blue, gray.
Honestly,
I thought they were both gray or both white.
I think this jersey would have been way cooler with 2 sets of stripes on each arm like that.
Correct.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and hem stripes. Honestly,
Yes. I
This
think
looks
there is
like-
a hem
Yes.
stripe. It looks like there's at least a white one.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
was
just a
in-
white hem stripe.
I was in California at the start of the year, and we went to the entire Leafs California road trip because my brother and dad are huge Leafs fans. So cool to go on a team's entire road trip. But there were people who had these Leafs jerseys that I didn't recognize, and then and they were the leaf blue, and they had 3 stripes on them, kind of like the the throwback they did in like the Phil Kessel era, I think to like 1967, but they didn't have the thin, thick, thin. They were all the same thickness, and I couldn't figure out what they were until my brother, who lives in Canada, told me that they're like the Canada Walmart jersey, that like is just
Oh,
a
yeah,
template
yeah,
jersey for every
yeah.
team, and they have that. And I can't look at this and not see that
Yeah.
because it's the same
This
three
is-
stripes. It's literally just like here's the team colors and here's a logo that's not even good as a crest. Yay! Like this is the worst Lightning jersey they have currently. Once they unveil it, and the other ones are good.
No. This is better than their home and away. Come on.
It's honestly
No.
one of their better
What?
ones, but that doesn't speak very highly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
See, no.
R is on the
This is
floor.
not
definitely the worst
compliment.
one that they have, but then again, that could just be my bias that I love
Because I think
colorful things.
for me, their other like their home and away aren't even bad. Like their home and away are actually good jerseys. They're just they're like basically just like the problem with their home and away for me is originality. Like I think they look good, but they're just not Lightning jerseys. This just is a Lightning jersey, but it doesn't look good.
If
It's
the
hardly a
Tampa Bay
Lightning
Lightning
jersey.
existed
It's
in like
standard.
if the Lightning existed in 1950 and like have just continually worn that style of jersey, yes, it would work. I mean, literally the Red Wings, right? But since they didn't exist until 1992, was it?
I think that's right.
And didn't wear that type of jersey, that style of jersey until 2011, it doesn't really work quite the same way.
Also, my biggest fear from the leak is like I'm not really sure what's going on the hem. It looks thicker than the arm stripe, and it looks like that might be the bottom. Like I'm really worried there's like a double thick white stripe at the bottom, and that's it.
And it's not like Tampa Bay has ever done that before. Like, just look at the jersey behind BPoe. Like,
yeah.
that monstrosity.
Also, this does like my biggest concept pet peeve, which I think I just had one earlier, but we'll pick another one. But like a lot of secondary logos and shoulder patches are made to be secondary logos and shoulder
Yes.
patches. Like every time I see a Kraken jersey with the anchor on the front, like I die a little bit.
Yeah, just
and like
yeah.
this is that. Like this is not a crest. This is a shoulder patch.
This looks like
Ugh.
Tampa Bay Lightning sponsored high school hockey club jersey.
Yeah.
But it's not. This isn't peak pinnacle NHL logo by
I'm
any
pretty sure,
means.
like, if you told me, like, the San Jose Sharks do a ton of, like, giveaway jerseys, like, they probably do, like, a dozen a season. Like, if you told me this was just a generic, like, oh, come get your free jersey day on December 23rd, like, I would believe it and be like, oh, that's a cool giveaway. But I'd never want to see Victor Hedman wear it.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I will say I don't mind the roundel on the front. I like the way the blue looks against the black, the like big blue logo against the black. I don't love that they filled in the middle with black.
Yeah.
I feel like that
sucks.
could have worked. I did a concept years ago where I basically took that logo and took the roundel out of it and just took the middle lightning part.
Mm-hmm.
Where at that point it basically just turns into their primary logo, but it's a perfect circle. I feel like that could have worked here.
yeah.
Yep.
Although it would have been a little bit of a weird,
A little bit the flash.
it would have been a weird kind of disconnect with their home and away jersey being a ovular version of the logo.
I'm going to be back in one moment.
Is that a word? I think it's a word.
Can be. Something I just noticed and irks me more than anything else. What are these black laces on a black jersey? Like,
that's a good point.
Adidas laces are already meaningless. Like, what is this? like
Look, we're a classic team too. Look at our Detroit Red Wing ass jerseys and then our laces and
in their defense,
we're old too.
In their defense, I do know of at least 2 people who bought these Cannon jerseys explicitly because I put laces on them.
Yeah, but like they're fun. Like I think laces look cool from time to time. Like my beer league jerseys have them and they're fun. But like the same color, like I don't think anyone's done that before. So like kudos, I guess. Like we just talked about trying new things is good, but like this is like the Harold Ballard of fucking jersey laces. Like,
it feels like using
Harold
vintage
Ballard
white
laces.
for the sake of vintage white.
Yeah.
It's just we're adding laces for the sake of adding laces.
Also, I feel like with the logo and the black, like you're trying to get like a cool kids like modern vibe, and then it's like, fuck it, laces.
Yeah, grandma sweater laces, but like cool kid. Yeah, totally.
It's like mom's like,
Dare
tie your
I
neck
say
before you
that?
leave the front door. Like,
Yeah.
Dare I say that this idea, executed a little bit differently, could actually be a decent base for their home and away set? I feel like the victory
Yeah.
stripe, like
Sure.
regardless of whether you think it's a gimmick or not, or you like it or not, it does have significance in their history.
Yeah.
I feel like taking that and expanding upon it, like whether you have a black base
Yeah.
or a blue base, I feel like that could make something decent.
Yeah, like
something
double up the
I
striping
missed. Oh, go ahead.
and double up the striping so it like actually mimics the victory pits striping.
This gives me an idea for a concept.
And then
I'm not gonna lie.
just make that concept. And it'll be fine.
Oh.
It's
Hear me
been a
out.
while since I've made a
Instead of just
concept.
doubling up
It's
the
been a
striping,
while since I've sat at this
instead
computer,
of just
man.
doubling up the striping, leave this one set of arm stripes where it is, and then do another set over the shoulders.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah.
That would be
Okay.
sexy.
Let them cook.
But something I was going to say before that's once again topical is like the best Lightning jersey in Tampa Bay history. That's a weird way to say it. The best jersey in Tampa Bay Lightning history would be if you simply took the Toronto PWHL sweater, ripped off the letters, and put a Tampa Bay Lightning logo on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
Yeah.
better blue. It's basically
Yeah.
like their original template, but better. Like, literally, like, straight up, I've tried
It's
so
a
many,
hybrid
like,
of their originals and their current template.
yeah, like I've tried so many Tampa Bay Lightning fix or ideal or whatever you want to say concepts and like never really liked any. Like I think you do that, I wouldn't really need a new jersey from them ever.
Like I feel like
It's honestly very similar to their reverse retro. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
non-storm one. I think that was
Yeah.
the first one, where like you do have the white stripe on top, the black stripe on the bottom, and instead of a white yoke, the Toronto one has a black yoke.
Mhm.
Like that's the main difference there.
Oh, I forgot
And
there
the
was
striping
even a
thickness is a little bit tweaked. So
like I don't know that. I don't know that I would say the Tampa Bay Lightning have had a single good design anything in their like their jersey sucks. All of their jerseys have sucked. Their logos have never been good. I'm talking primaries. Like their stadium series against Nashville is kind of good. I wouldn't want to see it full time, but like outside of that, like there's
It's
none
still
of
their
their
best
jerseys
jersey.
I see above like a 40%.
Yeah.
Like,
see, when this got put on the Discord, I think I mentioned like hot take. This is probably the second best Lightning jersey behind the Stadium Series jersey.
Yeah, it is.
And neither of those are really all that great to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
I
mean-
think if you added like the kind of modern original, like the Reebok version of the original logo, and added that on this jersey, it'd be all right. Be better. Even if you had like the Bolts text on here, I think it'd be a little bit better.
yeah.
Like, but like there's so many points in the Lightning jersey history that like just switch out a logo and it would be a much better jersey, or just do something a little bit different with the striping and it'd be a much better jersey. But they just kind of fall flat every single time.
To give them credit, this does fall well in line with their brand and history.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately they have probably like a bottom 5 jersey history in the NHL.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they might have a bottom 2 and not 2, honestly. Like I'm struggling to think of another team that has never had a good jersey. Like the Blue Jackets are.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably
pretty
it's.
good, but
We have
I think
all
the-
of it, and that
I
is
mean-
it.
I'd take the Blue Jackets over the Lightning jersey wise.
I think you could take the alternate, and even though I think it's overrated
I
and
take the
has
first reverse.
well overstayed its welcome,
is not
like
Burkus.
I think you can take that as like, okay, this is a good jersey.
The Blue Jackets alternate is 3 times as good as any jersey the Lightning have ever made.
Yeah, and I don't even like the Blue Jackets alternate at this point. Like,
Hell, I think the original Blue Jackets jerseys are better than most Lightning jerseys,
Yeah.
if not all of them.
I was
The
gonna say-
white one, yes. The home, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah,
used-
the
I
light
used
one
to
for
like-
sure.
I used to like that blue one, but then I saw like one picture of it where the
I
hem
saw it.
stripes are obscured, and it's just plain blue. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like the Lightning as a team. I don't like the Lightning as a brand. I don't like their jerseys. I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Alrighty, so that
That
leaves
seems fair.
one piece of jersey news remaining. and it is hot off the presses as of recording. By the time this probably gets published on Sunday, it'll be less off the presses.
There's a chance
Might even be unveiled.
I heard they might be unveiling it tonight as like we record this.
What?
Oh,
Someone
shit.
said
me-
the
Time to go check
I
Yeah.
have it open right now.
Twitter.
Our Twitter look.
It is currently 10 o'clock, so
I
But it's
imagine
only 8 their time.
yeah.
they're not
Yeah,
playing.
they
it.
haven't
it's
unveiled it
7
yet.
their time.
I was talking about the leak in the Discord, so I like just Twitter like searched like Sharks jersey, and
The San Jose
was
Sharks.
inundated with Joe Thornton jersey retirement things, which like they announced today too, and I can't imagine they do both of those in the same day, but
They're having a watch party for the game at the Ducks on January 31st.
ooh.
I would bet
That seems interesting.
money that's when they're unveiled.
Also,
Yeah.
what is with teams unveiling jerseys so late this year?
I don't know.
I mean, I
Like,
feel
this
like
is
Tampa did
strange.
that with their like first black alternate.
Yeah, it's also just weird to me, like especially in the last year of Adidas, like I forget, like I remember reading somewhere, it wasn't from a real source that I remember it from, that they might be getting rid of everything but home and away next year, but I thought I remember
They typically do that
wasn't
whenever
the
they switch
case.
manufacturers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah, but they're
surprised.
staying in the same template and they're staying in the same production facility. But like are you like if that's the case, are you really going to introduce a jersey for like 30 games? And obviously you're not going to be wearing it for all 30 of those games.
Yeah,
Like,
they
they're
wear
gonna
it, like,
wear it like
10 max.
yeah, like
And
they wear it as much
pushing it.
for home and away for the rest of the
Yeah.
season. Like, and
I mean, I presume that
Maybe
they plan-
playoffs.
I presume they plan on
Sharks
like
playoffs,
San
yeah.
Jose and I presume they plan on bringing them back. Like if that happens,
Yeah.
I presume they plan on bringing them back after. But even still, yeah, that is.
I
It
swear,
seemed weird.
if this Fanatics takeover does not kill the Flyers alternate that used to be the Stadium Series,
Oh God, I forgot they still have that.
I don't think anything can kill it at this point.
I will personally send Cutter Gauthier back to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Anyways, we got one last.
Monkey's paw curls. It's their primary.
Another point, San Jose related, but not with the jersey. Oh, you briefly touched on Joe Thornton, the retirement thing. Does anyone? Is
Hey,
it common
don't touch
for?
Joe Thornton without his consent, okay?
Is it common for them to say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do a jersey retirement next year for this guy"? Is that common or
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
I
mean,
feel
So I
like
saw
not-
that and I just thought
there-
that was like that seems kind of weird.
There's
I
no
like-
schedule, so they
yeah.
can't announce the date.
I feel like the Rick
typically-
Nash retirement was announced way in advance.
I think
so.
typically they're like the off season before, so it is a little.
Yeah.
bit- Honestly,
Yeah,
I
it
didn't even
seems
catch
weird.
until you just said it that it's next season. Again, they can't give a specific date because there's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it seems early to say that, or it seems really late if they were just going to do it this year for whatever reason.
Also,
But
the logo.
why not just
sucks
wait until the
because
off season?
stroke and the 1-9 are touching, and it kills me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I saw a funny tweet though that I think was from Shan Peng, who's I remember who tweeted it this time, who's a Sharks beat reporter, and he said the good thing about this logo is you can just swap the 19 for an 88 when they inevitably tire Brett Burns' number a couple seasons down the road, which they shouldn't. do.
True.
Like
yeah,
like, he's just
that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, they're gonna retire Eric Carlson's. Come on.
Penguins legend.
Anywho, last leak. A lot less information here, unless Carter has any more spoilers he wants to spoil.
Sorry, I've been
His
banned.
life again.
Oh yeah, right. He got banned from the r/.
Carter actually can't speak for the rest of the podcast.
One
If I
more
speak, I'm in
thought.
trouble.
One more thought. Imagine the Sharks are like, okay, we're gonna retire Joe Thornton's number on what, February 19th. Oh shit, we don't play the 19th.
Yeah.
Like the
if-
schedule comes out. Oh shit, we don't play that day.
Who's 19?
No, it's like a
It's
road
where
game
not.
Special
in.
jersey. It's a
It's
road game
It's a road game in Buffalo, and it's
in
like
Boston.
See, that could be kind of cool.
they raise a Sharks rafter in TD Garden, and
That'd
then
be so sick. Then bring it down, ship it back to San Jose.
Yeah.
so the winner gets to keep it. Winner gets to keep it.
Okay, Whenever the schedule does come out, though, unless they just announce it day of, it's got to be the game they play Boston and San Jose, right?
They better play Boston on January 9th in San Jose. Get
There
that
it
one.
is.
What day is that next
I said
week?
February 19th, but yeah, January 9th makes a lot more sense to fit that number.
We have numbers for those people.
Oh, January 9th, 2025 is a Thursday, so that's not the worst.
That's the day. That's a day.
Like, you would think they would want it to be on a Saturday.
So jerseys, huh?
Yeah. We got 2 logos and a hanger effect for a new Sharks alternate.
I'm
We also
assuming.
didn't know there was a Sharks alternate coming. So this is neat. Carter, how about you go about giving your
Okay,
thoughts first?
I was gonna say I'm gonna request some time to speak for a minute here.
Please
All
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say, if you're gonna send pictures like that, at least ask first, saying, "Hey, don't
Yes.
send this anywhere." Especially if you're going to say, "Well, I don't really care. I'm done with Adidas anyways after the season. So do I really care if I get in trouble?" If you're gonna say that, then people are gonna take your pictures. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's that. Yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be a black version of their home jersey. I sent a
Ooh.
photo in the reference images Discord that was mocked up by PGH Concepts, and I think it looks great.
I'm here for it.
General rule of thumb, but if you have insider info, the moment you send it to anyone who's not supposed to see it, just assume it's
public.
Anybody can see it. Just
Yeah.
assume it's public at that point. Like,
Yeah.
Unless you preface it with a group of less than like 5 people with, "Hey, don't share this."
yeah.
If you're sharing
As
it,
soon as you send it, you've lost control.
if you're sharing
Like-
it anywhere that isn't a DM, like what are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
if I were still with the PHF or something, which doesn't exist, but point is, like, if I was still with a league and I had some insider info, I'm very confident in saying I could send it to the Jersey Nerds and nobody would say a thing until it was unveiled.
I
That
would
said,
leak it.
I still never did it, and I never plan
Totally.
on it just because I don't want to lose a job over it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, what?
if
I
you've
designed
expressed
the
this
unveil for the
idea,
Toronto
well,
Six.
might as well
I
add.
designed the logo with Lucas for the Montreal Fours. Among seeing others beforehand, none of you guys knew a single thing about
No
it.
idea.
You may have known You may have known it. I may have said something about, like, I know about this, but I'm not going to tell you anything.
I
Yeah, I
didn't even
think
know
Yeah,
you were
you
I
mentioned
don't know if I
all,
did
but-
that. Yeah, I don't know if I
That's,
even did that.
Hell, I'm designing more of these blog jerseys for the rest of the like fam umbrella we're under, and I haven't shared those with you guys.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's for maybe
Like not a
maximum
real thing
100
almost.
people
Yeah.
that would have interest in them, let alone buy them. So, like, yeah, like, don't share your shit if you're worried about your shit getting leaked. Like, anyways, we don't really have much to go on. It's just a logo and a theory. But what do we think?
2 logos.
And that, what is it? I lost the line for a second.
And that's just a theory.
A Jersey,
theory. There it is. R.I.P. Matt.
By the
Platt.
way-
he's not dead. He just quit YouTube.
He just quit YouTube.
Listen,
Shout
I
out
don't know what
to a
that was.
legend.
You've never heard of game theory?
Or film theory, the better
Oh,
one.
I guess I have.
Or
I think
style theory.
I saw a single Five Nights at Freddy's movie TikTok like a month ago, and literally fell down a 2-hour like Five Nights at Freddy's lore rabbit hole, despite like never playing the game, never
There
having
is-
interest in it. Like I just
Only
watched-
2 hours?
There's
Yeah,
no
it's-
chance that
there
you
was-
fell down a multi-hour Five Nights at Freddy's lore rabbit hole and didn't end up seeing a game theory video.
Yeah,
There's
no,
no
I think I
chance.
watched
Yeah.
3. I think I watched the 3 game theory videos on it, and I was like, okay, that's it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was one night I just
Was that the bite of '87?
exactly. Like I was just like, I think I was in the bathroom. That's as much detail as you need on that. But like just scrolling.
He was
through
really
TikTok,
enjoying
like,
those theories.
yeah, right. Like just like washing my hands and saw one, and then literally the next 2 hours is just me on the couch like this, just like watching it. My girlfriend's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll talk to you later." But anyway, I don't know. Like to me, I'm more like interested in like the state of jersey leaks and like that conversation than like the jersey itself. Like I think.
Oh, I know what state. Northern California.
Boom. Like I like the updated Stadium Series shoulder logo. I don't know how I feel about their shoulder patch on their primary jerseys just being used as a crest. I think it's better than the Tampa one. I don't know
Is this
that
even
it's
your shoulder patch?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's much better.
I actually would have
but-
been cooler if they used the Northern California logo as the crest.
Yeah, I think.
Or
they
hear me out.
technically-
The alternate logos they unveiled 6 years ago
like,
and
I
never
don't
did
know
fuck
how
all
the-
of it.
Yes.
That's
Thank
exactly
you.
what I was gonna say. Like the Los
Ottawa
Cabrones
Senators type
logos
beat.
are- yeah. Like what is with teams unveiling like their best logo and then being like, we'll keep it over here in the case. Don't want him to get hurt or anything. But I think it's really interesting. Like I feel like my opinion on jersey leaks is like starting to change. Like I used to be very much like pro leak, I guess, and like really excited about them. And it like there's still a large part of me that is that, and it's like, ooh, new news, I gotta know. Like I wanna know everything there is to know. And part of me is like, I feel like it taints your opinion sometime, and it's like, I don't like this jersey because X, Y, and Z. But then when you see the the Rangers alt we talked about earlier was a little bit that way for me. Like when I first saw it, it was kind of like, this is weird. It doesn't match. The striping doesn't really make sense. But
What the
then
hell are you doing?
like, oh, this
Yeah.
is a long exposure photograph of downtown
Yeah.
New York, effectively on a jersey. Like that's so cool. And I think Vegas too. Like they did a really cool unveil with their Winter Classic of like Western vibes and cowboy and horses and stuff.
Yeah.
Versus
yeah,
just
we
like,
didn't
Can
even
we
mention
talk about
that.
that unveil real quick, by the way? The
Yeah, we
Utah
didn't even
Jazz
mention
and AEW?
yeah, true.
Like, huh?
Did the NHL like forget their release date and tell them the wrong day, or was that like I honestly
Yeah,
don't know.
that was weird.
Like, was that
Also,
like 4D
Seattle Kraken, Utah Jazz. Like,
The conspiracy theorist inside of me thinks it was on purpose. And I
No,
think they
okay.
were doing that to see, like, because leaks get hype. I'm sorry. They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And it got people talking. It did. It did its job. Everyone's like, oh, the jerseys came out early. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, remember too, like the Turd Burger, the way that who was it, Steve Ott, I think,
oh,
leaked it,
God.
Leaked it,
like,
yeah.
where he
That
was
was
just
painful.
like, "Fuck
That-
you guys, unveil it."
I like
Where
those
'cause
jerseys.
realistically, that had to have
Oh
been.
no.
But
Oh.
but they
Oh, no.
dragged that on for so long. We knew that jersey was coming for so long, and they teased it several times, teased different images of it, and we're like, "What the hell is this?"
There's
and then,
a
finally-
term I was tempted to say, but I'm gonna refrain.
I get that the theory that it was intentional is appealing. However, Hanlon's razor says, "Don't blame a conspiracy when incompetence is also a explanation."
that too.
And nothing
And-
is
and the-
more incompetent than NHL management.
Yes.
So I'm fine just assuming that they straight up forgot.
I really like the idea because I think it was like roughly 2 days earlier. Like I like the idea that they looked at their calendar and saw like T and they were like, okay, we're unveiling them on Tuesday. You can start wearing them, Jazz. And then they're like, oh shit, it's Thursday.
yeah.
Like
That's-
whatever.
Like, it almost seemed like what actually happened was that, like, okay, we had the release date pinned for this day, and that day, like, because there were some rumors about it being, like, I can't remember if it was, like, a Friday or
Yeah.
something like that, but let's just say Friday. And then, like, that day comes and goes and nothing, and then it's, like, a day or two after that where
Yeah.
we start seeing
Yeah.
the Jazz wearing it, and then
Yeah,
what
it's
was it?
almost like
Some
they
sort of
delayed.
wrestling
There was a
thing where
delay.
Vegas
Yeah,
showed
some
up,
some wrestling.
where it's
thing.
almost like
I don't care
it's almost
about
like there was a
Some indie small
I just
thing.
legitimately don't remember what it was. But it's almost like they had that date set, had to delay it, and then just didn't send the memo.
Definitely when
hey,
I first
don't wear these now. Wait a little bit.
when I
Again,
first saw like
blame
the
incompetence.
Jazz pregame tweet and like people responding to it, I was like, oh, that's getting deleted so fast. And then like it didn't, and I was like,
Yeah,
Odd
which
choice.
is what makes me
Um,
think it was intentional.
like
Yeah.
and then AEW like I would have thought if it was unintentional, one, it would have been deleted. Two, if it wasn't, so be it. but then the NHL would have been on AEW's ass.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
do not wear those jerseys
True.
tomorrow. And then they come out, hey, look at my jersey. Like,
Yeah.
but
You may be convincing me that it was probably intentional.
I'm
Again, my
100%
fallback is that
convinced
the
it was.
NHL is stupid as fuck.
They could have fumbled into a W. That's
Yeah,
which is really the
that
only way
too.
the NHL gets there.
I think it worked. I'm fine
It
with
did.
it unveiling that way. It was fun.
I haven't
It was
seen
memorable.
that much conversation from like general sports fans about a Winter Classic. Like, I bet a lot of people talking about that didn't even know what the Winter Classic was. Like,
The
NHL's
only
marketing
thing-
is such garbage.
yes.
I'd
Which is,
just
again,
rather
makes
they,
me think it was an accident because since when have they had a good marketing idea?
Well,
I
they
could see
didn't,
them
so they
hiring
let other
somebody.
people market it for them.
Yeah. They're like, NBA, people like you.
Yeah.
All they needed to do was choose a real wrestling company, and it would have been perfect.
We let the NHL let the cool kids unveil the jersey
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and
They
let them
became
take
the
over.
cool kids.
And literally, they did nothing special. They were just like, we'll wear it while we do our thing that's already popular. And the NHL was like,
Yeah.
oh, having something that's popular would be a big boost, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, Sharks jersey, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I don't like their previous black jerseys, so I'm really open for anything. That's kind of as far as it goes for me, honestly.
It's a good compliment to their set, like especially if it is like how the mock-up is. I don't know if you'll show it on the podcast or not, but like basically the Sharks jersey but black. I think that'd be a fine compliment to their set. I don't think it adds a whole lot to it.
It doesn't
It'd
take
just be a
anything away.
No,
Yeah.
And
I think the hanger effect is cool.
Oh, I
think
love it.
The logo is a tad disappointing, but it's fine.
Something I will
There's
say
certainly worse things.
From a distance, the hanger effect just looks like piano keys, and it feels like
it
Nashville.
kind of does.
I'll
It's
say
just
they
kinda
look like
funny.
mountains,
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought they were
yeah.
mountains.
Yeah,
which I guess, I mean, Northern California is kind of mountainous.
yeah.
Honestly, like
Maybe
Velcro
it's both.
stripe. If you Velcro stripe one of their primary jerseys, I don't really care which one. I think they'd both work.
Mhm.
I think you got something there.
Velcro
Like
strap.
either just have a very simple like teal surrounded by white, or
Yeah.
have the white
You know
with
what?
a little bit of
Yeah,
black in between,
yeah.
and then the
Make
teal.
the teeth the striping.
Yeah, it'd be gaudy, but
I
yeah.
I
That'd be
mean,
kinda
you
cool,
know,
though.
I don't hate it for an alternate. I do
I would
like the new
like-
shoulder patch or the new old shoulder patch, and I don't mind, at least on that mock-up, the way the secondary looks on the front, and that's
I
really
think
all we've
wave
got at
striping
this
could be
point.
cool.
Yes.
Like if you copied the wave
Yeah.
from or you just did like forget the logo, like take the roundel out of it, just do a wave and then like a giant shark fin. Like it's super stadium series. They'd never do it for an alt, but like that's the type of stuff
Why
I would love
not?
to see as alternates. Like I
Yep.
just go. Like it's a third
Yeah.
jersey.
Just do it.
You only have to wear it like a handful of times a year. Like you're never gonna
Have
get
some
as
fun
much
with
to
it.
have. Yeah, like honestly, that's my biggest design pet peeve. Is like I hate how the NHL like is just like it's like, oh, our primaries aren't good, throwback. Our primaries aren't good, direct throwback. Our primaries aren't good, direct throwback. It's like we got to do something new eventually. Like I say this as a Penguins fan who's super glad that they did that. And like generally, like it's a positive move, but it's it's very boring. And it was like cool when like two teams were doing it, and now it feels like I would say like probably at least 6 of the rebrands from the past decade have been just direct throwbacks, just off the top of my head.
Here's an argument I could maybe make, just for the hell of it, where I think it might be acceptable to bring back a throwback as your primary jersey. Well, I feel like you need to meet at least like one of these 3 conditions, if not multiple. One, you want a Stanley Cup in it and changed away from it, which Edmonton, Pittsburgh, for example, fall into.
Calgary.
Did not.
Calgary, yes, Calgary. 2, it was your inaugural set of jerseys. And 3, you wore it for at least like 10 years, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Could you imagine if the Rangers just were like, you know what, we need the full sleeve yoke look back. Like, we wore it for like 3 years in the 80s. It was glorious. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Which,
I-
now that I think about it,
I'd kinda rock that, like, for,
jerseys,
like-
out of the throwback jerseys that have been brought, like teams that have made throwbacks their primaries, like most of them do fall into that category already, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I'd say most.
Because
The
that's the one people have
Kachina's
nostalgia
not
for.
really.
Well, they were
maybe
the-
maybe I'll take out the qualifier of inaugural jersey, but I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Generally, especially the older teams, their first jerseys sucked.
Yeah.
Like
San Jose's were good. Arizona's not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Arizona's a fun one to talk about. Like, I think it's
Which
not
we have
good.
many times.
Yeah, it's not good, but
it's
there's a
very
reason it
era-appropriate.
exists.
Yeah.
The idea is
Yeah.
there. The execution is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great base for something else that is not
Mhm.
that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
But,
I know, like with the stars, like people are always like, "Oh, bring back the star pattern." If I ever see that again as a primary, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, but
Well,
that's fair.
I
I-
get what
Ottawa,
you're saying.
Ottawa went back to theirs, and I think that look
That's-
is
Oh, that's
awful.
Oh no, never mind.
that's
They
the
are.
worst. Flyers is probably worse, actually.
That's not their inaugural thing, though. It's an
basically
abomination
is.
combination.
That's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's worse than their
inaugural and
original.
Alindra.
I
It's
mean-
close to it, but yeah.
Ottawa
Yeah,
isn't
it's
quite their
even-
inaugural.
They went from their
so-
inaugural thing to a worse version of it.
Honestly, like even Tampa Bay's original jerseys are not kinda. They're bad. Like,
They're so
let's
bad.
put nostalgia aside. They're bad.
They're so ugly.
The Ducks one is good. San Jose is good.
We're bad.
Like definitely
Yeah.
under half of the teams have a good inaugural jersey. I'd say. I'm not looking at all of them right now, but I'd be pretty confident in making that statement.
Maybe what? Anaheim, Buffalo, Calgary, Edmonton. That's about it. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's no, because those black and gold aren't your inaugural.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. Yeah,
It's
Pittsburgh
like, yeah.
is the light blue diagonal Pittsburgh, which like are good, but I wouldn't want them to wear it
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
Maybe one night a year, like the Leafs do with the St. Pat's.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
But yeah, I think if you have a choice to try something new versus do a throwback, I really wish teams would default to the former, and they very much default to the latter.
How did
I wish the teams that had like a more modern look stick with their more modern theme, but then have an alt that's like, hey, let's play with what would we look like in the 90s or 80s or something.
Yeah,
But then the old classic teams do the opposite, like, hey, let's have a modern
Mhm.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
like what the
And
I love what the Leafs did. Like I don't personally love their black
Yes.
jersey, but good for you. Like you went for it, you tried something, it broke the brand. It is, youth focused, modern focused. Again, I don't think it's a work of art. I think it's fine. But they went for it, which I think is super cool.
I think the people outside of our circles appreciate it
100%.
a lot more than we do.
Yeah.
100%.
It's kind of in the same vein with what I said with the All-Star jerseys, and maybe a little less so with the
Mhm.
Tampa leak, where like it is awful, and yet I appreciate that you're at least trying something new.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
And from maybe a more fashion standpoint, wearing it as a shirt, wearing it like some celebrity wearing it at a concert or
Mhm.
something, you're bound to see that more than Tampa Bay Lightning home jersey.
Yeah,
like
I hate the Kachina as a hockey jersey, but I used to own one before I sold it, and honestly, it was one of my favorite jerseys to wear because like it just
Yeah.
so cool, like it looked cool
yeah,
to wear.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
that jersey pairs so good with a pair of jeans. Like not so much with a full
does.
hockey uniform,
Yeah.
but with a pair of jeans. Ooh. Again,
There's the solution. Just have the Coyotes wear jeans on
Ooh.
the ice.
Light blue Cooperalls.
That's
Jeans
very
are all-
Southwestern vibes. I'm here for it.
We've unlocked the
Jeans?
secret of the Kachinas.
If you thought waist stripes were heavy, just wait till you have sweaty jeans.
Alrighty. Do we want to talk about anything else, or do you think that's a good place to
I
call?
want to talk about my sweaty jeans. And
We're
on
not
that note,
doing that.
Oh,
which I guess is. Oh, do you have something, Will?
go.
I was gonna say
Don't we
Well,
have mailbag stuff?
Yeah, do we have any mailbag questions?
We can do mailbag.
Oh no, yeah,
I
because
think
Mailbag,
we didn't go through all of them last time.
Mailbag.
We
might
didn't
even
go
have
through all the
to-
questions last time.
I was gonna say too. Do we want to touch on the? I know it's not.
How many
Jersey.
times do I have to say don't touch things without their consent?
He said, "Do we want to?
Will.
Not are we going to?"
Do we want to talk about
Fair.
all the Tahoe Lake Monster Tahoe?
Oh, Lake Tahoe
night.
I'll be
Monst-
honest. I was
monster
scrolling through
nights?
sportslogos.net, like the news, like you can go and just kind of scroll through all the articles,
Yeah.
just to try and find some of the stuff we were talking about today. And there's so many things we could talk about.
Yeah.
Honestly, with them, my biggest thing is like out of all the stupid minor league baseball temporary identities, like I am amazed they've managed to find what I think may be the dumbest
the worst.
in
Yes.
all of the Night Monsters.
Yeah,
Like
I think
Lake-
is it the Night Monsters or Monster Nights?
Night Monsters.
Night Monsters. Okay,
I
I was
don't
getting
know,
mixed up.
It's Night Monsters. There was one that
This-
was announced today for minor league baseball.
oh yeah, I
The,
saw that, the hot rice and chicken or something.
The Barberton Fried Chicken and Hot Rice. That is
Yeah.
what they are calling their team.
Which is funny because I'm also looking at Reading Fight and Phils to play as cream chipped beef.
But again,
What?
all of these are better. Oh, I'm sorry, they're not even the Lake Tahoe Night Monsters. They're just
They're
the
just the-
Tahoe.
Yeah.
Monsters.
This was another video that I tried to make and screwed up in making it, so it never got made. But basically, my whole theme of it is that the artwork and the logos, 10 out of 10, probably one of the best minor
Literally
league
10 out of 10
artwork
because
sets.
there's 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's the
yeah.
issue. That's the core problem.
The logos are they're all really good. There's just too many of them.
Just not
The
every-
name is a
yeah.
0 out of 10 though.
The name is like
So
the name is a negative 10 out of 10. Like
It's-
it is
yeah.
like I remember hearing it and I was like, "Excuse me?" Like I don't even know. Like Lake Tahoe Monsters would have been sick. Like you get the lake monster vibe, which is really what it like. There's no night involved. Like the monster is not a night. It's not a night monster hybrid. Like literally, like it feels like they had a name, and the Golden Knights were like, "Hey, you gotta be knights," and they were like, "Oh, okay, we're the night monsters." Like what? Like that's not.
And we know how much like the minor league teams switch up ownership and stuff, but that
Yeah.
kind of like binds them to the Golden Knights, which
Yeah.
maybe that's the case, or I don't know, but
It's
I know it's not owned by the Golden Knights. It's owned by Tim Tebow and
it's horrendous.
others.
Like I would
Like, it's just
legitimately challenge anyone listening to
confused.
this to find me a name of a sports team anywhere that's worse. Like
Besides being racist, like there's lots of
right.
there's lots of racist names out there.
More
but-
problematic, definitely. Worse,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
no, like I was gonna say at least. Nope, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say at least racism makes sense, but that's not what I mean.
At least that's gonna be like the clip that comes from the podcast.
Podcast
got-
title, there it is.
They got this racism.
At least racism makes sense.
Podcast title, at least racism makes sense. It'll get clicks.
But it's like night monsters just means nothing. Like
Well, it sounds like a
If you
Disney.
had like a
person.
monster with like a knight helmet on and like some knight armor or
Yeah.
something like that, like that
You
would
could
be
swing
cool.
it.
And it
Shrek,
name would be a
literally
little weird.
Shrek from the first movie.
The name would be weird,
got
but
it.
at least it would make sense. Because right now, like you said,
Yeah.
knight is just kind of
it feels like
shoved in there.
it feels
Yeah.
like those like stupid Facebook posts that are like, someone's trying to kill you and your only weapon to fight back is the item to your right. And it's like, it's a knight and a monster. It's like, golly.
It's the time
Okay.
of day it is combined with your least fate with the thing that you find the scary.
Yeah.
Oh God, night monster.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to appreciate anything. Like the logos are great. They're garbage to me because I can't remove one.
You can't
from the
take it
other.
seriously. Yeah.
Like everything about this team just makes me uncomfortable. I honestly forgot they existed until you brought them up, and that was the best day I've had since they were unveiled.
The
That's hard.
Tahoe Night Monsters are the game.
Yeah. You remember if you remember the Tahoe Night Monsters, you've lost the whole day. Like, go back to bed, restart. Like,
All right.
Well,
We are at serious crackhead energy now, so I think it is time for, if not for bed, at least for this episode of the Jersey Nerds podcast to
to put
end.
this one to bed.
Yeah.
No mailbag then?
But we only have one question, and it's what's your favorite number?
No,
I
it's
thought it
what's
was
your
like
favorite
trivia.
social security number?
Oh yeah, there's trivia. Someone did
Yeah.
submit
Oh.
trivia. Yeet, we're not ending yet.
Yeet.
All right.
What was that? Yeet.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the last trivia we did was.
In the meantime, my favorite number is 21.
My favorite
What
number
about
is
you guys?
24.
52. As evidenced
I
by.
don't really have a favorite number. to
It's
be honest.
24 and then 1037.
My go-to
Okay,
hockey number.
I think
Go ahead.
it starts with this one from TJ.
Before we get into that, I might as well bring this up. The reason my number is 21 is because it was my dad's number, and the reason it was because it was my dad's number is because his sisters, or at least one of his sisters, knew Michel Briere before he passed, and
Really?
thus he started wearing 21 in honor of him, and now I wear 21 in honor of my dad.
That's cool.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool.
I'm 52
40
because my birthday is May 2nd.
I
like
wear 24
46.
because my birthday's May
40.
24th.
That
46.
reminds me, that sounds like my brother. His number is 56 because he was 5 and he was turning 6 years old.
Nice.
Amazing.
He also liked the Blues, the St. Louis Blues, as a kid because his favorite color was blue.
I respect
That's why
that.
I like the Penguins.
I respect that.
Because of yellow. My number that I was going to wear for hockey was 46, and frankly, that comes from when we did HJC jerseys, and I thought 46 would be funny because I was the only small person. That sounds rude. I was short. I don't know. I was the only one who wore
Tiny little man.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tiny Little Man was my nickname at the time. I don't want to be I'm the only small person.
Wait, how tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm 5'10". I'm not
Okay,
short.
see, I'm 5'4", so
Yeah, but so I thought it would be funny to get 46 as the number since that's the size of authentic jersey I wore. So that was going to be my number for hockey, but someone already had it, and so I was like, oh, that sucks. And then I was trying to think of what number I wanted to be, and I was like, oh, 58 would be sick because it's Chris Letang, who's a personal favorite of mine. I've met him, and obviously he's a really cool story with him, having multiple strokes but still playing in the NHL. And then I realized I was born on May 8th too. So it's a double meaning of also 5'8", and I was like, boom, and then I got a message. Oh, we also have a 58, and I was like, okay, fuck it, 59. Jake Gensel, no other meaning.
My old number was 96 because take the 9 from Gretzky and the 6 from Lemieux, and bam.
There you go. Also, it's
I was 5 years old.
It's a sneaky 69, so it's more
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Damn.
and my parents, both unfortunately and very wisely, didn't let me take 69. So
Understandable.
Why not? We'll
Lame.
tell you when you're older, and ideally never.
I mean, I honestly don't remember the conversation happening where I wanted 69 and they wouldn't let me. It just kind of 96 has happened, but
Honestly, seeing a 4-year-old.
I've asked them and they were like, we wouldn't have let you
fun.
down 69.
That would be
really
amazing.
funny. A 5-year-old playing mini mites, just
with
no skating
Rocking the
around
69.
69.
All right.
And he'd be ridiculous. He'd be the best kid on the team. It's the only option.
If only my parents let me wear 69, then I'd be in the league right now.
That'd be good. That's the only thing.
Then I'd be in the show.
All
right, Burkus.
Trivia time.
I'm thinking we're pushing on an hour 45, and I don't know how much we're going to be able to cover next episode, so I'm thinking we just call it here, to be honest.
Okay.
And then we can do trivia next time. So we just added that little bit on for just a bunch of bullshit.
I have a good
All numbers.
I have a good trivia question for you.
Yeah.
How much money do I have in this cup?
5.
48 cents.
That's about $3.50.
Nothing. There's
69
nothing in it.
cents.
It's an illusion. 69.
I'm gonna say $7 because
No,
I
that's
see some.
yeah. I was
loonies
gonna
in
say
there.
that's Canadian, so that's got to be like
No, that looks like a lot more loonies. Than
Oh,
7.
Canadian, so it's
$17.
like 42 cents American.
Close
those-
enough.
those are
$17.75.
One
Well, I
more,
at
you
least
got
had-
freedom
I at least
money.
I had the 7 in there. I had the right idea.
So yeah, you won.
All
Sure.
right.
That's basically
this is-
right.
All right. We're going to just end it here. This has been a great time. It's been a while since we've been able to have this many people on. So thank you for listening to the Jersey Nerds podcast. This time for real. And Carter's back on his horse, and we will.
I have one last thing to say before we end, and I'd like to leave it at that.
Okay.
Thank you, and good night, Monster.
Thank you for listening to the Jersey Nerds podcast. Check out our website at jerseynerds.wordpress.com to find the latest news, concepts, podcasts, and more. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Jersey Nerds, or just find all the links down in the description of the episode.